Okay, Tuesday, 20th of May, 2025. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Actions speak louder than words. I don't know about that. Because one thing I've subtly noticed in business and in life is that sometimes actions and words may not be in tangent, may not be in sync, may not be synchronized, so to speak. People often say actions speak louder than words. Don't look at what they say, look at what they do. And that's an interesting little truism. But I've instinctively felt and I've noticed that sometimes that is the exact wrong thing to think and to believe. Sometimes, and the trick is knowing when, sometimes forget what people say, ignore it completely. Forget what they do, ignore that completely and look at what they say. Because sometimes, depending on how Machiavellian someone is, and that's why it's a bit hard to know when, someone could be doing something in the short term against their best interest, but knowing that in the long term, in a year, 6 months, you name it, even a month, whatever, things will be different and turned around and better. They're enduring pain with a smile and a compliment, the words, but in a month or in the end, they'll have the last laugh. Very Machiavellian, very underhanded, but it happens. People say, don't look at their actions, don't look at what they listen to what they say, look at their actions. In some situations, the exact opposite is true. I can think of one scenario. There was this individual on a somewhat famous channel elsewhere on YouTube, and he talked about how he had this friend for 6 months. And at the end of those 6 months, that friend, quote unquote, betrayed the person. Now, again, very Machiavellian. That person, the scammer, was willing to endure 6 months of action, willing to endure 6 months of going against his best interest, or planting the seed, luring into a false sense of security with the person, to then strike, in this case steal, make a move, and get out. So for 6 months he was doing things with the facade, with the perception, with the misdirection of building a friendship, building a false sense of security, saying all sorts of nice things and compliments, but that at the moment it flipped and fled. The trick then is knowing when to ignore their actions. I guess one way will be look at their incentives. Do they have an incentive to lie? Do they have an incentive to deceive? And then you could also game plan and theorize. So even if what they are doing is a lie, what would the end goal be? As in, think of different scenarios. If they are 100% true with their words and actions, then this. 100% false in their actions and words, then it's that. And the truth is somewhere in the middle, depending on other things, gut feeling, instincts, social cues, things like that, rapport, liking and trusting the person, things like that. It's sometimes powerful and worthwhile to doubt people. Anyone can say anything. Anyone can do anything. It's a question of attrition. If they can do this thing that goes against their interest, but for how long? A day, a week, a year, 6 months in the case of that little interesting story. Exactly. That's why I think patience is a powerful tool, because you can out-compete a lot of people by being patient. But that's another topic. But quite related to this. Sometimes ignore people's actions. Listen to what they say. And the opposite of that, the original premise, is true as well. Because one thing I've been learning lately is to, when people make a claim, to take it at face value and to take them as they are. Yes, I generally agree. But understand the nuances behind what people are saying. Their incentives, their means, their modes, their possibilities, their tools, what they can and can't do. Just because someone makes a claim doesn't mean that they can or can't do it. We need other variables. Really, it was sprinkling in doubt into everything. We're sprinkling in doubt because that skepticism keeps us alive, keeps us in business. Anyone can do anything that goes against their best interest if they can outweight you, i.e. attrition. Then when you follow that logic truly, confrontationally speaking, everyone's a component, everyone's an opponent, everyone's a combatant. And that's a very confrontational way to view the world and society and life. But it's paranoid, but it will keep you alive. You might be held back by a few things out of sheer skepticism, but you'll be alive. You'll live. But then the trick then is to know how much of it to have. Like with knowing who to doubt, how much of it to have. I guess then the trick would then be refining social skills and understanding of the world and first principles to know when someone makes a claim, to know instinctively if it's possible or not possible. And if it's not possible, then that means that either the person is lying, i.e. deception, or deceiving, or building on faulty foundations accidentally. That's quite interesting. Very nuanced. Very nuanced. Really, we could even say increase your discernment skills to decipher better when someone is telling the truth and lies and manipulation. Quite an important skill, I think, to have in general throughout life, and no matter where we are in the world as well. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.